shit me, that goes right over. Jesus Christ.
Right, come and join me. Iceland in October, the start of their winter. So I decided to visit 7 of the best sites on the island, starting in the volcanic uplands, before moving out to the edge of Europe's biggest glacier, and then up to the eastern fjords, camping in the snow, before I went up to the very most northerly tip of Iceland, the Arctic Circle. Then wheeled my way out to the western fjords, camped in a canyon before I came back down to the southwest and camped in the volcanically active parks near Reykjavik. Lastly, joined by my sister for a bit more luxury, as you'll see in a bit. Right, here we go. Just met that lady who was on her own, Spanish lady, and she she asked me for directions, and she's actually going to the only place in the entire island of Iceland that I could help her with. She's going to where I've just started from. So they were good directions. Yeah, you see this road? Yeah, you just keep going for another hour. And you'll get to the T-junction. Oh right, that's where I've walked from. Oh well, that's good. Yeah, I've walked from 1 kilometre from there. Horneyjar.
So I've done, that's kilometres unfortunately. So that's 20 miles. Bit more. That's where the campsite is, 3 miles. And never heard of that. I'm not going that way. Anyway, 60. Right, well I'm within 3 kilometres of my ultimate target today. I didn't think I'd reach it, but I could, as it's only 20 to 5. But that's a campsite. That's what I've been aiming at on the map. I don't really want to come all the way out here to camp next to other people on a purpose-built pitch. Seems to defy the point of being in the wilderness. What I want to do is camp wild. And what I'm thinking, because I need water, is it looks safe to cross this, I don't know, quarter of a mile, tops 250 metres, to the thing we're calling a lake. And I don't know if I can get any closer to it than here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just explore, see if I can get a bit nearer. I don't really want to be visible from the road, because despite researching it for a month, I'm still not entirely clear what the law is. Well, this seems to tick all the boxes. Doesn't appear to be any boulders that can roll down on me. There's this lava bank that screens me from the road. Right, so there's some evidence of water flow in here, but again there's no rain at all forecast. I could probably do with being up a bit. Nah, I like the idea of being tucked down here. This is firm, very firm, but you can get a tent peg in it. Yep, this is bed for tonight. So here's home for tonight. Maybe the next night after. I don't think anyone can see me from any of the roads. I've got my own water source, which I'm going to walk to in a minute. And this is my new tent, the Jackal 3. I wanted a 3-man. I've been in a 1-man for the last decade. I wanted some space and a proper ground sheet. So there is my wonderful, spacious room for the night. Thermals, pillow, electrical and camera equipment, book, 5-season sleeping bag, and a insulated sheet sitting on top of my camp bed. Gosh. Oh, this is clear as the sky. Oh, how beautiful. It's just got nothing floating in it. Oh, I can't wait to go to bed. Well, just lie down, stop everything apart from eating. One word. Freezing. So today's plan is to, 1, get the blood flowing and warm up, because I'm a bit cold, as they say. And then to go into the main national park, which is a mere 3 miles behind me, and hopefully climb the highest mountain, which is about as high as Ben Nevis. And to facilitate that, my pack probably only weighs about 5 kilograms today. It's just food, water, stove. But I have to say, I say it again, the weather for a mountainous region close to the Arctic Circle has been an absolute blessing so far. I know it's not going to last, but every day's a bonus. Right. So I've just looked at the map and something's dawned on me. I never ever put 2 and 2 together. So this lake is a perfect oval, and that got me thinking, can it be a crater lake? And if you look round, we're actually in the middle of an absolutely enormous crater, the edges of which are preserved on 3 sides. Shit, mate, that goes right over. Jesus Christ. Won't be leaving the path again. This is like Lord of the Rings. So that last bit was so hard I couldn't even video it or breathe properly. And I'm feeling pretty defeated at the moment because although the camera won't bring it out, that is a long, steep summit. So the battle here is one of psychology, not fitness. So I just need to breathe, pause, feed, regroup in my brain and then do it because... And then one good thing is I've actually realised I've taken the hard route, the red route up here for the last 2 miles. There's a blue route, which is just like taking the train to the top of Mount Snowdon. It's so easy. So I can, although I have to traverse the red route a bit back down, I can use the blue route and actually get back to the road that I walked in on that will take me back to my tent. This boosts my morale. They are steaming hydrothermal vents in the distance, which is a nice backdrop for a cheese baguette. Right, well I was so busy clinging on for dear life on that last bit that I think the summit has crept up on me. It's cold up here. Yes. Oh, good God. Right, so we're finally ready to get going again. Just spent a couple of days touring the southern coast of Iceland, hence all the sights you've just watched. Before I start my trek today, I've come down to the old Viking village at Stokeness. This is proper Lord of the Rings stuff, this is. It's also 6:30 in the morning, which is most unlike me. I'm normally only up at 6:30 these days when I'm ill. I've also paid a £5 to get in, so get my money's worth. I say get in. Access to the beach road. Right, short, nice whale spine there, look. Right, I presume we can go in without fear of being raped and pillaged for my grain. Okay, obviously had a concert here recently. Fairly sure that those surround speaker systems aren't Viking. This is where the chieftain, or whatever the leader was called, would have sat. Viking carving, green roofs. So this is the settler of Haraldur Rangvaldsson, son of an earl. The statue is dated 2005. All right. Okay. Wow. How about that for Ed's cultural tours? Can't see any Vikings. I need to get that bloody roof fixed. Right. So I'm just embarking on my second backpacking trek, which is up one of Iceland's F roads, F980, which is this track, all the way into another national park, the name of which is on the screen. And the purpose of this one, or the hope, is eventually I come to a giant river crossing, a glacial floodplain, basically. And it looks as though I can camp at elevation looking down over it. So a room with a view rather than just walk into a viewpoint. It's a very isolated national park, one of the least visited. And it says the weather today is 1 degree, but that doesn't account for the wind chill, and the wind is coming from the north, and it is something else. I mean, I've not experienced this frigid air quite like this, I don't think. Straight off the Arctic. It's yeah, my face is taking a considerable amount of time to adapt. I'm just stingingly cold in all my exposed bits. In fact, I'm going to stop filming and put my glove back on because my left hand's starting to fail. So anyway, I can't remember whether I've already said this, but somewhere between 12 and 15 miles in to the river, so a little bit shorter than the last one, and then obviously 12 and 15 miles out tomorrow, and then back to back straight into the next walk, but I'll talk about that in a bit. So it's me, the elements, the wilderness again. The further I walk along this track, the more I leave civilization behind, and eventually it's no vehicle access. So here's to warming up soon, eh? Here's what you need, one of these. Hello! I like your vehicle. That's what I call tyres.
This is what we call a car.
Oh yeah, you don't mind me taking a quick video? I'm doing a YouTube.
No problem.
So my name's Ed, I'm from England.
Okay.
And I'm walking in to Wild Backpack. Man, as far as I can get.
Yeah, well, then you are walking through the whole country.
Yeah. What's the river crossing like?
Well, it is not much water.
Yeah. Can I walk across it, or is that not wise?
Well, you will get wet, of course.
Yeah.
You will get wet,
Yeah. What are these? Are they so you can inflate and deflate as you go along? That is really impressive. Yeah, I'm impressed. I love your country. I've been here a week, and I just love it. Not too cold yet. When does winter start in Iceland then? What? Yeah. Oh, this is great. Well, it's been good to meet you.
Yeah, so it's someone that knows where you're heading to.
Satellite phone, and that talks to my family at home, so they know where I'm going. Every 10 minutes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So every 10 minutes, this talks to the satellite, and it has an SOS. Yeah. But yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, enjoy your day. Right, well, I've been going about an hour and a half now. I've warmed through-ish. Unlike the first walk, where I was already at elevation when I started, at this one I was at sea level. So it's a steady, constant climb. Not too bad. You can just see the foreboding tops of snow-capped volcanic peaks ahead. I've not researched this one really. You can over-research, takes away the surprise. For me anyway. So at times the landscape looks a bit like, well, familiar parts of Scotland, but there's a huge difference, and that is that in the UK you're always likely to look up onto a summit and see climbers or walkers. Just the density of people visiting and the number of trails, but here, nope, no one ever. There aren't any trails. It's dangerous to go off track and illegal in some places. And you saw the kind of vehicle you need to get along this track. There's also gates quite regularly, which would just make it a right arse to actually try and make this a day trip. It's the middle of the week, it's not sunny, and it's on the verge of winter. So I'm pretty sure that guy back there, those guys back there, will be the only soul I see for 2 days. I hope so. Anyway. Oh, that wind. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's quite hard to put into words. It's otherworldly. It's just not like any cold I'm used to at home. Oh, now that I wasn't expecting. Jesus. Right, well, I've been going a while now, and the reason I came here, well, that's pretty obvious, but it was also to pitch a tent so that this is my evening and morning view. I don't want to do it right on top of the mountains because of the wind, which is, well, self-explanatory. So, I mean, to be fair, there's real estate all the way along here, and it's not precipitous cliffs, it's sloping. It's absolutely awe-inspiring, that's what it is. I'm protected. Where's the wind coming from? All over. No, it's coming from where the camera's facing, so it's in my face. Right. You have no idea how hard that was. Right. So there's my porch. There's the cliff. So I've got a good metre and a half before Armageddon. And in a minute I'm going to show you the room with a view. Yeah. Right, hang on, because I can't feel my hands at the moment. Right, well, the wind is definitely getting worse, and I'm starting to worry about the integrity of my tent, because the forecast now says it's going to get stronger. It's about 6 o'clock. So if I am going to evacuate, I've only got 2 hours of daylight left to do it. That ain't long enough, is it? No, that ain't long enough. Right, stuck here then. Let's hope it holds up. It's getting a bit daft now. It's actually damaged the front canopy of my tent. I don't know quite how that's supposed to attach actually. I think I might have to bail out here while I've still got any daylight, because if this goes on into the night, I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing. There's a bloody great drop there. Nice view. Nice view. Yeah, bail out. Well, I've been going 2 or 3 hours now, and it's just been one long climb. I'm about 450 meters now, and the snow's getting deeper and the wind's getting stronger and it's getting colder, so it's pretty brutal. And I must admit, I am struggling to keep warm even with exertion, and the track just goes up and up and up. However, 4 things are keeping me going. One is that this track ends up alongside a sea fjord, runs right along the edge of it. Well, sea fjords are at sea level. There's one bit of logic that's reassuring. So I've got to come down again. Secondly, I will acclimatise. It's just taking a bit longer, but you always do in the end. I'm dry. You can't really tell, but it is raining and blustering. And thirdly, I think there's only 3 actually, the kindness of the human spirit. Some French couple in a motorhome have just offered me a lift, and again, just seemed completely confused by the fact that I declined. Tells you a lot about the human spirit. People are kind, number 1. Number 2, people always assume it's about the destination. He must be going to X, therefore we can give him a lift to get there faster to X. But it's not. It's about the journey. I mean, there's a pretty good analogy, isn't there? Life. We're all going to die, but nobody wants a lift to the end. We want to experience it a bit as we go along. The journey's the point, if there is one. So, thanks, Madame, Monsieur. But no, I'm the nutter who's actually enjoying myself. I don't even know what my destination is, other than it's a lighthouse at the end of the world, and the sea and a cliff will stop me walking any further. This is what I came for. Bit of hardship, but physically I'm fit. It's just my hands and my nose are cold, but deal with it, Ed. This is beyond what's acceptable now. 4 hours, 3 of them doing this. So I've just come across 2 vehicles that have gone off-road, 2 4x4s. One's went off-road in front of me, he's there, he skidded down the hill and went off. And then another one's gone right off. Well, that's how easily it goes wrong for people. That's one couple completely stuck and written off at the very top of this mountain. There's another 2 that have rescued a couple who've done this. They rang the touring company in front of me and they said, not our problem, ring the police. So they rang the police and they said, not our problem, ring the touring company. At which point I offered to intervene, a little bit of experience in a former life, told the police it was a life-threatening scenario at -5 and there were 7 people whose life were in danger, and he's now organising their rescue. So at least I was useful for that. So there's them. Oh dear. Oh dear. So you see, I wasn't being melodramatic about the state of the roads. That's a 4x4, and the one down there was as well. Game over. Anyway, hopefully they'll all be alright. Amidst all that excitement, I reached the top. Whilst that means it's the most cold and unpleasant it's been of the whole walk so far, psychologically, I'm now going down and that feels very, very nice. I've just confirmed I've been walking uphill for 10.5 miles, so no wonder that hurt. They did say they'd tried to get as far as the sea fjord that is the midway point on this trip, but they gave up because of the road conditions. Ooh, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? Okay, well, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and this place is throwing up a few interesting scenarios for me. I can now see the snow line, so it's only this bad up here. And in the cloud, I can see the view I was hoping for. You can't yet, really, but the start of the 15-mile fjord that leads to the lighthouse. It's like a finger of sea lock, stretching 15 miles inland. Now the weather's clearing up tomorrow morning, and if I camp here, I can A, fulfill my bizarre desire to camp in the snow, and B, position my tent so I wake up with that view, which I can't see yet, but will see tomorrow. I could then, as I've written off 3 days for this trip, leave my tent tomorrow with all the weight and the kit in it, and just frog march all the way to the lighthouse, so I can say I've done it, and all the way back to my tent, sleep for a second night, and then I can say nip back to the car, 4-hour nip back to the car on the third day. That is really seductive sounding to me at the moment. I just want to be out here, reindeer tracks, but there must be a reindeer. So if I can find a place to position my tent, so the only thing you want to watch is you can't see the terrain because it's covered in snow and ice. So as long as I'm careful, I could pitch my tent. Tempting. Right. So is this what I hoped it would be? Well, I think I might have done it again. Can you even see that sea lock? I can. I can see for miles. This is where I want to live tonight. This is where I am going to live tonight. Wow. Ooh. The key is to always look at where you're putting your feet and not get taken in by the views. You can't enjoy a view if you're dead at the bottom of a ravine, can you? So there she is. And there's my view. Down to the windy road and the windy river, into the sea lock that will reveal itself in the morning. Good night. Right, well it's 3 in the morning and I've just woken up and whoa. There's another squally storm thing that's not been on the forecast. My tent is taking a beasting. Whoa, Jesus. Whoa. Well, I haven't got anywhere to go in the dark on top of a mountain, have I? So I'm just going to have to hunker down and hope this goes away. Oh, I can actually feel my tent lifting. Oh no, and I'm worried it's lost. Looks like it might have lost a peg on the back. Well, I can't sort it out in the dark in the snow. I'm just gonna. I think I'm gonna use the ostrich strategy of just pretending it's not happening and going back into my sleeping bag. Right, well, I've given up on the idea of any more sleep, but I'm pretty sure one side of my tent is pegs are out. Can you see all along here? It's five meters beyond the front of my tent is a cliff drop. And now I'm sitting here thinking, if the wind rips this tent out and turns it into a sail, I'm just going to get sailboated over the edge of that. This is a beast, and it absolutely out of nowhere. I very much doubt the camera can convey what it's like being in here. It's like being in a wind tunnel. And I can't say I'm enjoying this bit very much. So I've just had to go out, and about 4 of my pegs were out. And what that means is that as fewer and fewer anchor points hold, you really are in danger of blowing away. So this is getting pretty critical now. Started off as a bit of a joke. Now it's there's a significant chance that my tent could fail, and I'm on top of a mountain in the snow. Absolutely not safe to try and evacuate. So I'm just gonna have to stay awake and every 15 minutes or so go out and push the tent pegs down. The problem is that a lot of them were pushed into the snow because of its rocky ground, and some of that snow's actually melted, revealing the pegs. But I think that's done it for now, and now I've got myself cold by being outside, so back in the bag and just hang on. Right, well, that was one of the most difficult and intense nights of my life.
I've just had a look round, and my tent's lost structural integrity on quite a number of different sides. There are pegs out all over the place, but it held. Let's just move this stove out of the way. By the way, kids, you shouldn't use a stove in a tent like this. Wow. So it's beautiful, but it's also 20 miles to the lighthouse. I only covered 10 miles yesterday. It's 30, not 26. And I haven't slept a wink. I've been clinging to life on the edge of this cliff top. And it looks like it hasn't finished yet. So I'm not going on any further. I'm going to double back, cut my losses, and accept that I've not made it to the most easterly point in Iceland, which, to be fair, is the least significant of the trips that I had planned, in the sense that I wanted the view and the snow, and I've got the view and the snow. So part of being a good backpacker, especially in wild conditions, is knowing when you're beaten.
one I've been looking forward to probably the most, as it'll be the most northerly part of my whole trip, and that's to the lighthouse at an unpronounceable place on the screen, marking the most northerly point in Iceland, in the whole country. It's noticeably bleaker, I think is the word I would use, than anywhere else. The weather is kind, touch wood, at the moment. It's 1 degree, -2 and -3 tonight, but mostly dry, the odd snow shower. And I have it's 20 or 21 mile hike to the lighthouse, and then a few extra miles for exploration, and then the same back out tomorrow, all being well. So about a 40-45 mile round trip, which sounded daunting when I first set out doing this Iceland thing, but you soon get fit and acclimatised and stroll in the park, he says, inviting doom with his overconfidence. It's a nice 3-digit road, 980 I think it is. I might be wrong there. Anyway, as always, completely consumed in traffic. Terrible the traffic. And then this peters out to a track which will take me to the lighthouse, which I presume is on elevated ground, that being the point of a lighthouse. So I probably won't be able to camp right on the cliff tops. Twice bitten, permanently shy on that front. So I'll get back down into some, I was going to say warmer, lower terrain, but that would be this. So a moss covered lava field, and try and find somewhere to pitch my tent. Anyway, I've got about 4 or 5 hours walking ahead of me, and it's just gone midday, so that should be absolutely ideal. Right, well, I've warmed through now. So you might be thinking, if this is the most northerly part of Iceland, why no snow? Well, I've already mentioned that for its latitude, Iceland's climate is heavily moderated by the sea, in particular the Gulf Stream, the North Atlantic current, which brings heat from the equator, and certainly along the coast, and most of Iceland is by the coast. It's not that big. That effect is quite profound. I'm also very lucky because it is snowing in other parts of the island today. It might even be snowing ahead of me actually, so as with a lot of these isolated settlements, you're actually left wondering if anybody lives here, or whether they're just like Legoland. Yeah. Don't know what that is, but it's got mannequins in it staring at me. And a sheep with devil's eyes on the window. Wow, this is... Now then. Ah, it's closed. First thing you see in the window. Coffee shop closed, bistro closed, American Cadillac closed, closed, closed. Oh, it serves chips. And that is a guest house. Not a shipping container, a guest house. shared bathrooms, it says on the website. Wow. Yeah. Now you're alright. Right, that looks like the end of Ralfahofen, and it couldn't come too soon. Ah! Yeah, let that be the nearest to that actually happening that I ever come. If only polar bears were that big, be a lot easier, I'd sleep better. Look, a ptarmigan, which is an Arctic grouse, centre screen. Don't be scared, I won't hurt you. What an amazing spot. Well, I've never ever seen a ptarmigan before. Oh, I just missed him. An Arctic fox. I just got really excited and couldn't get the bloody camera out in time, and he's gone over those rocks now. I'll have another. He was feeding on. Oh yeah, look. That is or was either a puffin or an orc razorbill of some sort. Freshly nibbled. That's not been there long at all. So bigger than I thought. I mean, a lot of it's fluffed up fur because of the cold, but let's see if I can find him again. Well, I never did see the Arctic fox again, but to be fair, this is their domain. This is his domain, and he, if he don't want to be seen by me, he won't be seen by me. He or she, or they, whatever their preferred Arctic fox pronoun is. Anyway, here we are at the lighthouse. It's just suddenly reared up in front of me because I've not been concentrating. Wow, we're here. We are here. Right, well, there we go. This is a big lad. So this is quite a special moment for me. It's the most northerly point I've ever been in my life. I'm just going to walk up to the sea. So the lighthouse is now just behind me to my south. So why is this a special place for me? Well, as I say, most north I've ever been. Just 4 miles out to sea is the Arctic Circle line. So you can see it from here. And that is the Greenland Sea. You don't get much more northern sounding than that. The Greenland Sea. So we're so far north that if you follow this line of latitude, which is essentially the Arctic Circle, and spin it round your globe following that line, you first cut through Greenland, quite a way north of the capital. And if you carry on, you hit Baffin Island in very northern Canada. Carry on further still, you hit the Brook Ranges in Alaska. Carry on round on the same latitude and you spend a long time cutting through the full length of northern Russia and out of Siberia before eventually you cut through Lapland, northern Finland, Norway, Sweden, back to here again. So this is proper north, and it is hauntingly beautiful and isolated and everything I hoped it would be. Deep blue, freezing seas. Well, not freezing obviously, but you know what I mean. You won't last 5 minutes in there, even in October, never mind in January. So after a death-defying clamber up over this sea wall, I made it. I'm just going to spend 20 minutes here just soaking it up, and then I've got to walk all the bloody way back again. Right then, all that's left, I've taken a different route back from the lighthouse. Whether that's wise or not will become clear in due course. Anyway, this is tundra. I've never walked across tundra before, never been in tundra before. It's where the only vegetation is this really low growing lichen, moss and sort of heather. Right, well I've probably not procrastinated that much over one thing for about a decade. But anyway, I think I've found a perfect little spot. There I am. And there's my private beach with my own footsteps on it. My own private black beach. I've even got a little pond. My own little pond, look, near the back door, which has got little fish in it. Now, I don't very much doubt you'll be able to see them, but they're little fry living in there. So that's nice, got my own little pond. And I've checked to make sure that I'm not going to get swept away by the sea, and I'm not. He says with confidence. Right, well, settled in. Cup of tea time. I can't tell you how lovely it is when you get in the tent and you realise it's as level as you thought it was. There's soft grass underneath me, so it's spongy and insulating. And I'm out of the wind. It's so much warmer inside the tent. It's at least 5 degrees warmer than outside. Cup of tea. I'm having a hot dog. An Icelandic hot dog. No idea what organism they used to make those. But frankly, right now, I don't care. I'm starving. And oh, kettle's boiled. Right, so we've moved on a bit in time, and I'm right over in the western part of the island now, exploring the most extreme west part of Iceland, the Vesta fjords. And I'm looking. I've got here late in the afternoon, so I'm looking for a camp tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to try and forge a path to the lighthouse that marks the most westerly edge, just so I can say I've done it. And I found this delightful stream. Now what I really want is to camp in a fjord by the ocean, because I've not done that yet. I've camped close to the sea in an estuary sandbar, but this is way more rugged. Giant cliffs all around and a big glacial valley. So you can explore with me. I mean, I found a patch there actually that would suit a tent down to the ground. The only issue would be if the canyon filled up, but it doesn't look like it does regularly, and anyway there's no rain forecast. It means I've got access to my own private glacial stream, which is about as clear as they come and full of little fish. So but down there is the fjord, the ocean. So let's just keep oh yeah, wow, that came upon me much more quickly than I thought. That is well, yeah, that's the ocean. Could put a tent there, a little bit higher up, looks flat. That could be real. Oh, what a view. Yeah, that could be pretty special. And just so you get an idea of how clear the water is, I mean, it's just crystal clear. So that's drinkable, which means I don't need to worry about water tonight. Right, what's the best way across here? Probably, what's that one like? Oh, look at that. Just love exploring places like this. Fish backbone. Right, well, this has got a lot going for it. On where I showed you a second ago, when you do the flat test, it's absolutely spot on. Probably can get my pegs in. tent will be slightly like that, but there'll be a flat bit for me. And I've got phone signal, and no one can see me from the road that goes round the top and round the top of the two headlands. And I've got my own view of the fjord and the sea. What more can you want for a wild camping spot? My own fjord canyon. My own fjord canyon. Worth getting washed away by a biblical glacial flood just to say that I did it. Even got my own waterfall. And all the way up the valley, wild blueberries. I've just had a nibble, unmistakably wild blueberries. And next to them is this one, which I think is a bilberry. I'll look that up before I start eating them, or maybe just not eat them at all because I've got food. Right, well I did it. And although it looks like a complete botch job, like it's hanging off the cliff, I've just got in it and laid down, and there's a wonderful body width soft area in the middle of that tent. So the outer canopy is hanging at 20 degrees, but the inside is level, and I've managed to pull it all taut so it's waterproof. So I'm safe and warm in that. Right, so we for the last hour and a half I've been doing the sort of the last section of backpacking, which is about it's about 8 miles today into the national park that is on the screen now, because I'm not going to try saying that, which is southwest of Reykjavik. So we're in the southwest of the country now, and it's the most volcanically and thermally active. So I thought I'd top off my journey by putting my life in immediate peril for entertainment. That's a fairly succinct way of summing up the peril. So I've put my pack down behind a wall because I can't be bothered carrying it anymore. I've done about 6 miles up a very long road, and now unfortunately I've got to join the masses. Because wherever there's a significant hot spring, there's a significant cluster of tourists, of which I am one, I accept. So we're going to go and have a look at this, because I've not really done geothermally active yet. And then I'm going to try and camp in this park, but a lot of it isn't safe at the moment. This is the 10 miles down the road's closed because lava flowed across it in the September 2024 eruptions in southern Iceland. They weren't actually volcanic eruptions, they were lava fissures, although I'm not sure the distinction is significant if you get caught up in it. They're slightly less explosive and spectacular, the fissures. It's just lava coming out of cracks in the ground, albeit on quite a large scale. So I'm going to walk my way through the car park and have a look at some hot springs. That's what I've come here for. And then get to the edge of the park where it's safe to camp, apparently. We'll see. Right, let's go and have a look at some hot springs. The one thing's for sure, you don't need help finding them. Now, the one thing I can't convey to you, and have no real desire to, is the smell. So for the scientifically educated amongst you, it's predominantly a mix of sulfur compounds, hydrogen sulfide predominantly. For those who prefer a different analogy, it's like a pub toilet on a warm day on a bank holiday. And it's put me off wanting to go any further, to be perfectly honest, because it's absolutely overwhelming. Wow, that was merely an hors d'oeuvre. I've now... I've now entered the main cesspit. It's very beautiful though, look at those colours. Apocalyptic. I've often wondered how the authorities are so confident where to put the boardwalk, where you can walk, where you can't. Because right next to it opens up giant, bubbling, boiling hellholes, which surely shift over time. So there's a steamy bit, look. Just appeared out of nowhere. Anyway, I'm sure they know what they're doing. I certainly don't. You can actually see the sulphur on that bit. Bright yellow. Try not to drop my camera into oblivion. Right, well apparently this boardwalk carries on for the half a mile. I've absolutely no desire to be in the atmosphere that this is creating for a moment longer. So I'm going back. There's actually a sign back there saying, please don't walk on the larval crust. I think they should take that down for 7 days and improve the quality of the gene pool. So this stuff's crazy. It's so much younger than anywhere else I've been. It's like almost like fresh larval protrusions, mudstone, lava stone, whatever it's called anyway. And it's amazing. What's less amazing is how long this road is. Right, well I've definitely had enough of lugging this pack, but we have now moved on another couple of miles. It doesn't seem to be geologically active anymore. It's certainly very beautiful. This is a glacial lake, really high up. We're at about 400 meters. But according to the map, just up here, on the edge of the park, there's an area I might be able to start looking for a campsite. So hope springs eternal. And as far as I can see, this would be a great place to camp out in the open. There's no high winds forecast, as is often the way when it's really, really cold. Oh, that's weird. Military aircraft there coming out of Reykjavik, I presume. Transport plane. It's really weird because I've not seen any air traffic at all on this island other than round the international airport, which isn't in Reykjavik, it's in Keflavik, I think it's called, which is about 40 minutes drive from the capital. Anyway, slight intrusion there from man-made devices, but other than that, I've got this otherworldly plateau. Slightly eerie even, it's just so remote. This rock's amazing, it's not like anything else I've seen. It's great big smooth slabs of almost loose slate-like material, which is amazing stuff. Yeah. I don't know why, but I always want to go around the next corner. If you don't, you never know what you might miss. Although, of course, you can't play that forever, or else you just walk in an endless arc until you die. Right, well, the sun's now gone down behind the ridgeline, and it is freezing. And it's, I nearly gave up then. It's really hard to get the pegs in, but actually the frozen bit's only about 1 inch, and then underneath it's quite soft. I guess it's not been winter for very long, so the frozen earth's not too deep. I think. Oh, right, well that took 20 minutes. That was a battle, but she's up. And I've said it before, but that's a beautiful campsite. I think every single campsite I've found in Iceland is an order of magnitude above anything I've ever done in the UK. I mean, in the UK you don't get an amphitheatre like that, a volcanic ridge, and a high altitude snow plateau, do you? Well, not easily, not anywhere. Central Cairngorms maybe, but that's pushing it a bit. Anyway, I'm so cold that I need to get in there now. Got that one. Got that one all right. So I'm in the Blue Lagoon. World famous. World famous, and all I can think about is that the woman on reception just tried to charge me 21 quid for a plastic bag to keep my phone dry. This is what I've been reduced to.
Sister's here now.
Sister's here now, and I've got a bloody face mask on under an illuminated bridge.
Selfie.
Oh, I paddled around a hydrothermic lagoon in Iceland with a seaweed mask on, trying to find the bar. Which is quite difficult in the dark, in the steam. That looks like a bar over there, look.